Are they going to pass, the abortion ban nationwide and have all abortion doctors retroactively put to death? Are they going to do that? No. Why? Because they're cowards. But today we have Marjorie Taylor Greene. And anybody that votes for her, you're not a real conservative. Fake conservative. Why? Because Marjorie Taylor Greene should be at home being obedient to her husband.
It's good.
That's what she should be. Where's her husband? Any of these so-called conservative women, why are we putting them in a position of leadership when they can't even figure out which a good husband to marry? Because any husband that allows his wife to go and run for Congress is a pathetic beta man.
Amen.
Okay, that is wrong. That is wicked. Okay, there's something wrong with that man.
There is something wrong with that man. And also the apparent one man who's in the crowd, because he got an amen from a single voice. Is it possible that they're not showing the audience because there's not many people in that audience? Hard to say for sure. But anyway, that's fundamentalist Baptist preacher Jason Graber of Shore Foundation Baptist Church in Spokane, Washington. Bear in mind, Washington, especially Spokane, does have some conservative people. But that is a very conservative, if it wasn't clear, pastor targeting Marjorie Greene of all people, saying that you shouldn't vote for her, not because she's not extreme enough. She might well support his plan to put to death doctors who perform abortions, but because she shouldn't be in office. She shouldn't be in public. She should be at home obeying her husband. Bridget, what do you think?
Well, I don't even know where to start. The putting doctors in jail, or the fact, I think it's one of those things where these are the kinds of people that Marjorie Greene speaks to. People who would not vote for her because they say that she should be at home being obedient to her husband. I can't even wrap my head around what this guy is saying. I do think it's funny that if you pan out, is there just the one guy in the audience who's like, amen, brother, I agree. It's scary that there are people who think this way. And I think it's exactly why we really need, I think that people like Marjorie Greene should be concerned about the kinds of ideology that they're espousing, that this is how it's being received, that even she, as someone who is so extremist, apparently is not extremist enough for this guy who says that she needs to be at home.
Yeah, exactly. And look, I'm just gonna briefly say, if Marjorie Greene is watching this, do you get that this is your side? I know that most of them accept you in the same way that most of them pretend to accept Dave Rubin or Ben Shapiro or Candace Owens or whatever. But you get that they do hate you at the same time. But that said, these people get to be on that side if they want. They get to be incredibly conservative. They get to be dead wrong on literally everything. Marjorie Greene is awful. I think she's the worst, but she gets to run for Congress if she wants. She gets to have a job. She gets to have the same rights as anyone else. It's just that once she exercises that right, she's terrible. And I really don't like her. But she gets to do those things. Marjorie Greene is bad because of the things she believes, the things she says, the things she advocates for, not her mere presence in the public square. She gets to do that like anyone else, and it shouldn't be controversial to point that out. And I don't even think it needs to be pointed out to this guy. I didn't hear any women clapping in that audience.
They're at home.
Is it possible that none like you, Jason Graber? Have you considered that? That maybe you're not quite as alpha as you seem to think you are? Maybe think about that before your next broadcast. Anyway, any final thoughts?
I mean, you said it. I couldn't have put it better myself. It doesn't surprise me that there are no women applauding in that audience. We didn't hear not a one.
Yeah. Anyway, Marjorie, I don't look for opportunities to defend Marjorie Greene, but you get to run for office if you want to. Anyway, also you can just call for all of these doctors to be executed. I guess that's a thing you can do. Interesting. Anyway, and that's tax exempt right there. Him calling for specific political outcomes that put to death his political opponents, tax exempt.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.